Hi everybody, Chef Catco here. I'm going to be doing a chicken fabrication demo using this 4 pound broiler roaster. Uh, the what we're going to do today is basically what we would term disjoint the bird into different parts. The objective today, I'm going to show you how to remove the legs from the breast, how to separate a leg into the thigh and drumstick. The other leg, I'll show how to completely debone, great for stuffing, for example. Uh, the breast, what I like to do with that is just show two ways that it can be processed. One way, well, for both sides of the breast, we're going to remove it from the bone. Uh, one breast we're going to prepare what we call a French chicken cutlet, semi-boneless with the wing bone remaining attached. But other than that, it would be uh, completely skinless and boneless. The other breast we're going to split against something we might use if we're doing stewing or braising, or pan or deep fat frying, and so forth. But before we get started on the actual butchering of the bird, what I like to show you is a process known as trussing. Trussing a bird means to tie it up, and the reason why we do this is because uh, when we truss a bird, we're going to give it a nice, even, uniform shape. So when it roasts or cooks on a spit, for example, uh, has a very aesthetically pleasing appearance. Also, since trussing or tying the bird gives it an even shape, that means the chicken will cook more evenly. Okay, so anyway, let's go on ahead. Let's show you how one of several ways you could do this. So I'm going to start, I'm going to take the wings and I'm going to sort of make the bird take a yoga, like a lotus position. Okay, I'm just tucking the wingtips underneath the first joint, just like so. Okay, then what I have some butcher's twine. Okay, and what we're going to do, okay, is to go on ahead and I think we're going to take out twine. This twine is about 4 or 5 lengths of the chicken. And that's how we kind of measure how much twine we're going to use for this. And what we're going to do is go ahead and I'm just going to lay the twine on top of the what would be the ankles of the bird. Okay, and what we do, we go on ahead. We're going to cross them, and then on one side we're going to make a loop around the joint like so, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side like so, and then what we're going to do, we're going to cross that, try to make sure the two ends are nice and even, and just pull it together like so, just like so. Then what we're going to do, we're going to sort of turn the bird around. Right now, the what had been the tail of the bird is facing me. Now we're going to turn it around to show you the, with the neck, or where the neck had been. Okay, like so. Bring my twine around. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that, we like pull back nice and tightly. Okay, and then what we're going to do, we're going to cross it again, and I want to make sure that the strings are like over where the legs meet the body of the bird, just like so. And then I'm going to flip it. I'm going to flip it on the breast side, with now the backbone is facing me. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on ahead. I'm going to position my arms kind of leaning outward, just like this, okay? And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take two ends of the twine, cross it once again, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on ahead, what I'm going to do now is take one of these gloves off, because they're a little bit awkward. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and do three, like, twists, okay, three loops, if you will, of the string around that loop, okay, just like so, and then I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to pull it down and pull it away at the same time. So it's nice, and the wings are nice and securely tucked in. Then, being a right-hand person, I'm going to start with the left end of the twine, bring it around, and there's a little, like, V-shaped gap right over here, a little V-shaped gap that I'm going to bring that loose end of twine and thread it on through, just like so. And I'm just going to push and pull. Now, once I do that, okay, time for the other glove to come off, okay, I'm going to take my thumb, my pointer, and my middle finger, and make a little tripod, just like that. And I'm going to twist the string around those three fingers to make a loop. And through that loop, I take the other loose end and thread it on through, like so, and just pull down to lock the knot. And once I do that, I cut off the excess twine. All right, and then flip the bird over, like so, and voila, that is your trussed bird. Ready to roast, ready to put on a barbecue spit, be nicely browned, nicely cooked through, and just has a nice presentation. We call this trussing. Okay, let's go on ahead. Let's undo our work, and we're going to don a new pair of gloves. And what we're going to do first, after I remove the butcher's twine, I'll be right back. We're going to go on ahead, and we're going to work on disjointing the chicken. And we're going to start by disjointing this whole chicken by separating the wings, okay, from the body. And ideally, if I basically fabricated this chicken in terms of what I'm going to do for half of it, I would be able to get 10 pieces, okay, 2 wings, altogether 4 halves of breast, 2 drumsticks, and 2 thighs. Now, the important thing is to, with a few exceptions, most of the time we try to find the joint, and instead of cutting through the bone directly, we cut through the joint. So to find the wing joint, well, wherever you see movement like that, wherever you see flexion going on, that's where the joint is. So I'm going to align my knife. Now, here's the wingtip, here's the second joint, and here the joint closest to the body of the bird, that's the first joint. So I'm going to go on ahead, just separate it on out, okay? So whether we do fried wings, whether we do wings in a barbecue sauce, okay, that's how you get your chicken wings. Same thing over here, where the joint moves. That's where I'm going to align my knife and cut right through. Okay, next objective, from the front part of the bird, or where the head was at, we're going to go around the hip area, right over here. And again, you kind of see where it flexes. And I'm going to aim for the hip joint, okay, essentially uh, between the thigh and the body of the bird. And I'm going to try to show you up close. You're going to notice a couple of things. You're going to notice, of course, where it flexes. You're going to notice that there's a little band of yellow fat. And this usually is aligned where the joint is located. And so that's where I'm going to put my knife, right on top of that band of yellow fat, right on top of where it flexes, okay? So I'm headed right between two joints, not through the flesh, not through the bone. So I'm just going to sort of shave it, and as I cut, I'm going to manipulate the hip joint in such a way that I'm going to bend it backwards to dislocate it. Okay? Now, once I do that, I'm going to turn my bird with the breast parallel to me, and I'm going to cut straight down, okay, till I can't go anymore because I'm hitting the backbones. See that? So I can't go anymore. That's not a problem. And you might notice that as you cut, you expose like a little tender ball of meat. Okay, let me try to show this to you on the video. Right over here, this little tender ball of meat is called the oyster. And rather than to keep it on the carcass where it may go to waste, we make sure we cut it where it stays on the thigh. This way, people could enjoy it. Anyway, so at this point, what we're going to do, okay, I'm just following the joint from one end to the other. And now, once I got that joint bent back, I could see where the thigh ends and the hip begins. I'm just going to go on ahead, just follow it. And I don't know if you saw it, I just severed a tendon, okay, and basically free up my joint, just like so, okay. So that's our leg, that's our drumstick, that's our thigh, okay. I'm going to put it at the side for now. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, so again, where it flexes, that little vein of yellow fat, like right over here. Okay, just kind of use it as a guide. Right, kind of expose the joint by dislocating it like so. Okay, so that's the joint, the hip joint exposed. And again, what I do, I just cut straight down, hit that backbone, can't go anymore. I expose that little round piece of meat known as the oyster. Okay, let me try to show it to you close up. Okay, let's see, right over there. And just follow the contour of the hip joint, and there's your second leg. Okay, now, so what we have here, okay, we have the breast. On either side, we have the first joint of the two wings, and we have the backbone. Okay, we're going to come back to this in a moment. I want to show you how we're going to fabricate the legs. Okay, so let's make a little room here so I can show you what is going on. All right, so here The first thing I'm going to do, and this is kind of a optional step, okay, the little ankle over here, full of collagen, a really great little piece of bone for stock. So I'm going to take the heel of my chef knife, with the butt of my chef knife, and kind of use it like a cleaver. I put it right over, give it a little tap, like so. Okay, so I got, you do like a dozen birds, you get, 24 of these. It's significant to put in a stock. All right, so there it goes in. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other leg as well. Okay, again, the heel or butt of the knife, just like that. Okay, so for this, let's go on ahead and let me just show you how we would separate the thigh from the drumstick. Okay, so where it flexes, here too we see a little vein of fat, and that's where I'm going to position my knife. I could use my chef knife or my boning knife. Either one works pretty well. And you know that you've hit the right spot when you really don't meet any resistance. So now I got my drumstick and I got my thigh separated. Okay. Now, for the other leg, what I like to do, okay, is go on ahead and I'm going to debone it, okay? And this is pretty straightforward because we could see in the thigh bone or the femur, and just like with joints, there's a little vein of yellow fat running right on top of it. So I'm going to position my knife right on top of it, and lo and behold, I expose the bone. And now what we're doing, we are scoring the bone, or separating the meat from the bone to free it up. Okay, I go underneath. And now what I do is I'm going to scrape the remaining meat adhering to the bone with the knife, but I'm not going to use the part that I want to keep sharp, but rather I'll use the back part of the knife to do this. This way the cutting edge is not that compromised, because we hardly ever cut anything with this part of the knife. So I'm just scraping it away, like so. And I'm going to aim to get to basically the knee joint. Okay. And once I get to the knee joint, all right over here, I'm going to sever the tendon between the knee joint and the drumstick to free up the thigh bone for stock. Now, at this point, I could do one or two things. I could go on ahead and I could do a semi-boneless leg. This would be great. You stuff some mushrooms inside and you roll it up, you tie it up, secure with toothpicks. I'm going to do this completely boneless, okay? And to do that, I just go on ahead, find where the joint is. I can feel where that drumstick is, okay? And also there's, again, a vein of yellow fat that I'm going to follow. Straight down to where the ankle had been. Okay, let me just kind of show you what's happening. And you're going to notice you have the remnants of the kneecap, and then you have the drumstick bone. Okay, expose it. Once they're exposed, We're going to score it from the meat. I work with a lot of the tip of this knife. And again, when you ever bone out meat, chicken or fish, we always try to cut away from us. Try to avoid cutting towards you. And again, the same kind of scraping motion with the back part of the knife. We encounter some tendons, typical in the drumstick, whether talking about duck or chicken or turkey. Okay, we cut through the cartilage. Okay, so that's a drumstick bone for stock. And okay, I have a little bit of the kneecap that I'm just going to take my boning knife and carefully cut underneath to remove it from the skin. Okay. And lo and behold, you have a completely boned out leg. And I mean, this is great. This is a great, besides mushrooms, I mean, you could go on ahead, you can make a flavored or compound butter, wrap it around, bread it, freeze it, and then the famous Russian classical dish, chicken Kiev, where you pan fried a boneless chicken leg that's been filled with this rich herb butter. And the idea is when the leg is completely cooked and then you're ready to carve into it, all this like flavorful, rich butter comes oozing out. So that's one of many things you could do with a product like this. Okay. So to sum up what we've done, we've separated the legs from the body of the bird, or primarily the breast. We did a boneless leg. We also separated the leg into a drumstick and a thigh. Okay, we'll take a little break and we'll be back in a few moments.